therapist, physical therapist on the internet.
Hi, folks. I'm Bob Schrupp, physical therapist.
Brad Heineck, physical
You're
therapist.
the most famous physical therapist on the internet.
In our opinion, of course, Bob.
So, what are pain makers and how to get rid of them? This is a video that's part of a video series on sciatica.
So not haymakers.
Not haymakers, pain makers.
Pain maker,
Yep.
P-A-I-N.
Yep. If you want to see the entire series, go to bobandbrad.com and click on video series, or it might be called video programs, and look for sciatica. All right, the goal of this series is simple. We're trying to decrease the amount of pain makers you experience every day. Brad came up with this term, pain makers. I liked it. A pain maker is any action that causes pain, basically.
So it might be sitting, it might
Right.
be bending or bending with twisting. There might be specific activities that you do, whether it's a posture or a movement, that increases the pain. And that's a pain maker. We want to get rid of those.
Yep. And what we're talking about with sciatica is basically pain in the back
Mhm.
or any referred pain, which is pain going down the leg, maybe all the way into the foot or toe. Even.
Right. And so technically it could be pain down the leg. Oftentimes it's numbness or tingling or
Right.
burning, like a cold sensation. All those are symptoms of sciatica.
Yeah. If you perform a task and let's say let's say you feel like you feel pain all the time. In that instance, then we're going to look for tasks that increase your pain.
Right.
So,
Or make it go down the leg farther, which
Right.
is a big negative or a big red flag with sciatica.
right. So the reason we really want to reduce pain makers is because your nerves over time, if you're exposed to pain all the time, you don't get used to pain. It actually, your nerves become more sensitive to pain.
Sure.
And so now it gets to the point where you hardly do anything at all, and the nerves fire up and fire off.
Sure.
So the more we can reduce pain makers, the more we can reduce the sensitivity of nerves. It's kind of a cascade effect. It goes both ways.
Right.
So you'll find out over time, if you don't have as many pain makers, you don't have as much pain, and it doesn't fire up as easy.
And typically the healing can start, and then things start going the other direction. So we really got to get these pain makers under control.
Yeah, I want to give one example of a pain maker, Brad. So let's say you wake up in the morning. If you don't mind standing up, Brad, you wake up in the morning, and I'm going to get out of the way.
I thought you were gonna.
So if you wake up in the morning, right away you turn in bed and you feel pain.
Sure.
What we might recommend is that one, because a lot of people turn like this and they're actually twisting,
Mm-hmm.
and they might have some instability in their back. So we want you to roll like a log, but in addition to that, we're going to actually have you tighten up your abdomen first, tighten up your core. So you tighten up your core, then you roll, and then you push up with your arms, keeping my core tight the whole entire time.
Right. So those core muscles are literally stabilizing the spine,
Right.
Which eliminates that movement,
Those micro movements.
that irritates.
Yeah. And I had just had a patient that this worked for beautifully. He's like, I can't get out of bed without pain.
Mm-hmm.
And all he did is tighten up. He goes, you should have saw the look on his face. I mean, how
Sure.
surprised he was.
Yeah. And then once you learn to control your pain, your life changes a lot.
Yes, it does. You're in control then, whereas before it felt like it was controlling you.
I just want to give personally one of my biggest pain makers for my back. I've got spondylolisthesis, which is different than sciatica, but this concept is the same. Getting out of my car was always painful. I never looked forward to it. I'd walk like an old man until I could straighten up. All I did is I finally found the right lumbar support, a memory foam lumbar support in my car, and it's changed that pain maker. It got rid of it, and
What a difference.
Yeah,
it
didn't cure it, but it made a big difference in the right direction.
Right.
So,
Your life is a lot more happier.
just by changing one pain
changing one
maker.
thing. So we're going to also provide you a list of things that are pain makers right now that we want you to avoid completely to start. Eventually, you might be able to go back to them.
Sure.
But right now, as we're trying to get the nerves to calm down, we want you to avoid most of the things on this list completely. Now, some of you are going to say, like the first one is using a riding lawnmower. We
Right.
don't want you doing that. Well, someone's going to say, well, who's going to mow my lawn? And our answer always to that is, who's going to mow it when you have surgery? Because that's where you're going to be headed in this back surgery. So if we'd like you to avoid that part of it
Sure.
and find someone else right now. So should we go down the list, Brad?
Sure.
So the second one is shoveling snow.
Right.
So real bad for you. Third,
Canoeing
or using a kayak.
Right. It really
Yep.
puts your back in a position that's going to irritate things.
Yeah, horseback riding. You're not only a lot of times flex, but you're also the
Bouncing,
jarring.
yeah.
Yeah.
Cycling, yes, particularly on the bikes, the road bikes that you lean way forward on
right.
in a static position.
Lifting weights, even we're going to have you hold off. That one we might be able to get back to you fairly soon if you're doing certain ones
Right.
that aren't too hard on it.
Snowboarding,
Yep.
taking a lot of fun stuff out, Bob.
I
here.
know. Downhill skiing. Snowmobiling is actually a real bad one for a lot of people because again, it's that bouncing
Right.
and the
They
vibration.
come a long way on suspension. They're better, Bob, but I know what you're saying. We got to stop
especially
that.
over hilly country. And speaking of hilly country, you shouldn't be hiking over hilly country.
Sure, especially going uphill flexes you forward.
You're going to see where we really want you to walk. We're going to do a whole video on that, but we want you to avoid hilly country if possible. Prolonged sitting in a car, on a motorcycle, an airplane, all those things. It's going to be helpful if you don't.
Right. And that's where, like with me, a lumbar support can make a huge difference.
Right.
We do have a video on how to get a lumbar support fitted for yourself.
I had about a sciatica when I was in my 20s, and I was just starting physical therapy. I mean, I should say I was starting a clinical in physical therapy school, and I did not sit for weeks. I would do my notes standing up.
Sure.
And it went right away. So, excessive sitting at the computer obviously is another one. But
sure.
Yoga. Sorry, yoga people, but right now there's so many stretches in yoga that are bad that we'd want you to avoid. Just avoid yoga completely to start off with.
Right. And there are some actual yoga stretches that are good for sciatica, but we don't have the time to dissect that.
Yeah,
we do have some videos on that.
Yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah.
Right. If you're playing tennis or pickleball is the big one among the older crowd now. Did you know that, Brad?
It's coming back, I heard.
I didn't know there was a thing before.
I don't know.
Well, it's real popular
I don't
now.
really know. Oh, you're saying it's
Pickleball.
Yeah. Eat pickles. I don't know. Whatever.
All right. Number 15, running if it increases your pain.
Yeah.
If you can run and it doesn't, I have no problem with it. But that's all we're going to mention on the video. We might have more that we come up with later, and we'll put them on the list that accompanies the video. There's with every video, there's a handout that you can print out.
The bottom line is, if it makes your back pain and your leg pain worse, it's a pain maker, and it has to go on your list. Your list might be different than someone else's.
And we're going to show you eventually how you can do these things on the list.
Right. Yeah.
So, thanks for watching.